You got a couple good fights coming up this weekend. One of them will see the likes of an undefeated featherweight prospect. Tramaine Williams, Southpaw, will be headlining the fights this evening. I should say this weekend, KO Night Boxing, Rumble of the Water 2, which is going to be on CBS Sports Network in Long Beach, California. Of course, he's promoted by Rock Nation, and the Mighty Midget kind enough to join me for a couple moments. What's going on, Tramaine?
No, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well. Good to talk to you, and appreciate a couple moments. I know we got you on West Coast time. I'm not going to hold you too much, but before we get into your fight this week, and I want to go back to your last fight, and I'll tell you, it's interesting too because look, we know you got Gonzalez. He's going to be a veteran, over 30 fights this weekend. But if you go back to your last fight against Chris Martin, he was coming off a pretty big win against Franco, and you stopped him in that one, and you stopped him early. And to me, that fight was a perfect example of a boxer knowing when he was about to break the will of his opponent. Did you get a sense that you had Martin exactly where you wanted him?
Yeah, I did, and it's crazy because when I got back home, people were like, "How much you pay that guy to take the fall?" I'm like, man.
Well, hold on. Were you a little surprised by the stoppage though?
Nah, I wasn't, because actually I was hitting him with everything I had. Like, both my hands was in pain. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah,
like, I really was gonna punish him for like 8 rounds. And the referee's job is to look out for the fighter and save the fighter when he can't save himself. And then people don't even pay attention. Like, after the first round, the doctor had came up to the ring and he told the ref, he like, "Yo, watch out for this kid, because he's not protecting himself. He's not fighting back." I took every tool away from him. I took everything that he could do well. I took it away, and I kept making him reset, kept making him think too much. I was just on him.
Yeah, I did see when I went back, and like I said, albeit it was short-lived, forget about even using the jab. You were just teeing off with straight rights as well and lefts. And then I think the stoppage, ultimately, listen, you're right. It is the referee's job for, to protect the fighter. The fighter's got to protect himself as well. But you also have to put up some type of resistance, right? And he really wasn't showing any type of resistance. But you said something.
Nothing at all.
Yeah. You said something interesting, because I know there were some boos after that stoppage. But to paraphrase, you were like, listen, this guy's got a family too, so safety first, which is kind of rare and refreshing.
Yes, and that's true, because we gotta put on a show for you guys, but then we gotta go home and still put on a show for our kids.
Yeah,
ain't that crazy?
Well, it is, right? Because we were just talking about the NFL being so violent. Everyone wants to see those knockouts in boxing,
and they get paid the worst. And they get the least amount of money, and they get the most injuries, and then sometimes they don't cover your health insurance. It's crazy, man. I don't understand it.
Well, listen, you can make. We know the same case that's going on in New York, right? Because now all of a sudden you've got to have, I think, a couple million for insurance for all these fighters. So you're kind of seeing some of these cards. Yeah, you're seeing these cards right now. They're becoming smaller and smaller. Now some of the promoters actually want to have the fights in Delaware or Jersey or Pennsylvania. So, it's tough. You're right, because at the end of the day, everyone's a mercenary. Listen, what do you know about your opponent, William Gonzalez? He's a veteran, over 30 fights.
The crazy thing about it, I actually rode over here to do my physical with the kid that I'm fighting. We were in the same car. He's kind of skinny, about 5'7". I believe he's gonna be game. He's like 30-7, but he got 27 knockouts. So even if you wake up 30 guys off of the bench downtown Green and you knock 27 of them out, that means you're strong. So I can't go in here just looking for an easy fight.
Well, hold on a second. Did you guys talk during the ride? I know he speaks Spanish. Did he talk any English? Did you guys talk at all during the ride?
Nah, we're not friends. Nah, he actually don't speak English either. So that's kind of added incentive. But when he got in the car, like, he tried to shake my hand, I look at it like trying to butter me up. But listen, we're not friends. We're not friends, and I don't want to be your friend. I don't need any new friends. Shout out to Drake.
Yeah, you already have your circle. You don't need anyone else in your circle.
Especially not him.
No, I hear you. I understand that. Hey, listen, it's funny. I was looking at, just covering the sport and broadcasting the sport like I do. I always think it's so imperative for a young fighter. We always talk about ring time, consistency in the ring, and you look at your career, and it's kind of, the ebb and flows of a career, right? Because I guess you went back. You started boxing. You were around 9 years of age, but you had a really impressive amateur record: silver gloves, PAL National Juniors, 2-time ringside. So the pedigree's there, but yet you stepped away a little bit for a couple years. How important is it for a young fighter to get that consistency and be able to get 4 or 5 fights or 6 fights, if possible, in a calendar year to really help their career going forward?
Because there's things that you can learn in the ring that you can't learn by you hitting the bag or in pads. There's things that you learn in fight repetition, I call it. There's things you learn in the ring while you're fighting that you need to learn. And I think that comes with fighting 3-4 times a year and staying active. When you're not that active, you can't really learn too much on hand.
Yeah.
It's like people telling you, oh, well, you got to do this. Man, you don't know what you got to do. There's no right way to do anything. There isn't.
Now, did it take a little bit to kind of knock off the ring rust after the layoff?
Yeah, the first fight.
Yeah.
When I fought was a guy named Eduardo Garza.
Mm-hmm.
Once I knocked off that rust, the fight after that was easy. I feel back to life now.
You look at yourself.
Kind of like.
I was just going to say this. You're a southpaw, right? Nobody ever wants to fight a southpaw. But the funny thing is, if you look at the featherweight division, listen, it's loaded with southpaws. I mean, think about it. I mean, you got a bunch of guys. Whether it's yourself, Toka Conclary, which is a Providence kid. You got Gary Russell, Diaz, Zarate. I mean, did you also find too that it's tough to get some fights being a southpaw?
Yes, and a lot of guys turn me down because I'm also a high risk low reward. 11 fights, and I got the chance to upset you. A lot of guys not gonna fight me, and they're gonna say, "Well, he got to earn his burn. He only has 11 fights." And really, in actuality, I could deal with anybody, to be honest. But they always say he got to earn his burn. He hasn't fought anybody. You got to fight at least 1 10-rounder, 2 10-rounders. They was gonna cry. So I'm a high risk reward. And there's guys that blatantly tell me that they're turning me down off the strength of me being southpaw and my defense and my offense. It's kind of hard getting fights.
Well, listen,
actually, Angel Luna pulled out because he didn't want to fight me.
I remember I had Keith Thurman on the air. He said the same thing about Earl Spence. He said, "Listen, you got to earn the keep." And listen, I know everyone.
That's the perfect cop-out.
Well, I kind of called him out on that as well because it's almost as though you're avoiding the fighter. But again, what's he going to say? I mean, in featherweight division, it's not like you need 15, 20 fights to contend for a title. You don't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who would?
To be honest, hopefully out of this fight or next fight, I'm right there because I could deal with anybody. To be honest, it's just about them accepting the fight or us winning the purse bid.
Did Rock Nation give you any type of any inkling that the next fight would be potentially? I mean, who are you looking at, by the way? I'm just curious. Who's on the radar?
The guy, people say the politically correct thing, and they say, "Well, I'll fight anybody," but I don't want to be that guy and say I'll fight anybody. I will fight anybody that will fight me. We don't want PC people to come on the air. So just speak your mind. If you got a guy that you want to fight, you're more than welcome. And you're entitled. I want to fight everybody because I got a point to prove to people. So it's about are they going to fight me because they're going to always put me under that category of high risk, low reward. Why fight me for the same amount of money? They could fight someone that they know they're going to beat.
So you're looking
two guys.
Then you're looking at a Gary Russell Jr. down the road, or maybe a Valdez.
Yes, Gary Russell. Gary Russell can't do it at all. I'm not even gonna lie to you. And you heard it first from me. He can't do nothing with me.
He's a good fighter.
Diaz can't either.
He's a good fighter. He's a sound technical fighter. I'm not taking anything away from you. I'm just telling you, just my opinion.
I know, and I'm with it. But that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to prove people wrong. Well, I can't even say you're wrong or you're picking sides and thing, but I'll show you. I promise. I promise.
Listen, I know you're also a Connecticut guy, so under Rock Nation, but also doing some stuff with PG Sports as well, correct?
Yes, that's my boy.
Yeah, he's doing a good job down there. Hey, listen, give me a quick scouting report on the Garcia and Broner fight. How do you see it?
It depends what type of fight they're going to fight. I mean, because a technical fight, Mikey Garcia has it, but a fight where they're going to who want to see who has the more power, I think Broner's going to get it because Broner's naturally bigger.
Well, listen, I think Garcia's got to set the pace and the tempo of the fight. And you mentioned that Broner's a stronger guy. He's going to try to get in your head and rattle you a little bit, you know?
Yeah, Mikey Garcia, he does his thing, and he controls the timing and the distance, and it's so beautiful. Like, so that's where it could come into the fight being an up-tempo fight or a born fight. Mikey Garcia is nasty.
Oh, he works off that jab, too, and he gets that right going.
He's not your traditional Mexican fighter.
No.
And that's crazy.
No. I have to ask you, I got to ask you this before. Go ahead, finish your point on Garcia. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's crazy. I haven't seen a Mexican fight like that. Probably like the only person Mexican I've seen fight kind of like that is like a Chavez, where he uses his brain a little bit. Yeah,
and not brawn.
Yeah.
I got to ask you this, and I hate even asking you this. What do you make of the McGregor and Mayweather? And it's not a fight, let's be clear, that event, because it's not a fight. When you look at that as a fighter and you say to yourself, man, you get an MMA guy, never fought as a pro, it's sanctioned in Nevada against a 49-0 guy, and he's going to bank a ton of money. As a boxer, as a fighter, what's the first thing that goes to your mind?
Fighting has always been like this. The best event part. So put it like this: if there was a basketball game going on and there was a fight going on, everybody be watching the fight. They won't be watching the basketball game. So it's kind of like bringing the essence back in a way, but not really, because it's taken away from us fighting for glory and fighting for being the best and fighting the best. So kind of like it's like a double-edged sword. It's bittersweet. So it's bringing like the good back, and then it's also taken away because like, oh, you're nitpicking and you're picking and choosing. But then again, this guy worked hard. He fought everybody so he can nitpick. But it's like it's kind of crazy. But I kind of like the spectacle.
Well, everyone likes a car wreck, right? I don't think it's as bad for the sport as people make it out to be.
No, because they're not the ones making the money. That's why.
Well, of course not. And I don't think it's not really going to help the sport. It's just an event. It is. I mean, I look at it like this. It bothers me because I know people hate when I say this. I am a boxing purist first and foremost. So I kind of sway and sympathize in that regard. And I'm thinking to myself, what the hell's Nevada doing? They're going to sanction this fight when a guy's never even stepped in the ring before. And McGregor is a great MMA fighter. It's not like you're going to stick Floyd in the cage. He would get killed within 30 seconds. To me, this is just going to be not even a glorified sparring session. It's just going to be...
But Vegas is doing it because Vegas is making a lot of money.
Of course.
If McGregor and Floyd's making $300 million, imagine how much Vegas is making.
If I said you'll get paid $10 million to step into a cage and do a little MMA, what would you say?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Right now?
Yeah.
I hate losing, so I don't know. I think
I'm giving you $10 million. I'm cutting you a check today for $10 million. Step into a cage.
I'm stepping in there.
Yeah. You're probably on your way right now.
Yeah. yeah, but listen, I'm tapping out. I'm not letting you break my leg. I'm tapping out.
You take the easy way out, right? Now,
I could get choked out, but
that's right. That's right. No, you can't. You can't. That's your livelihood.
Yeah, I can get choked out, but I'm not going to get. You can't break my leg or my arm or my elbow or knee, and I can't do it. Or my ankle? No.
All right, we'll get you out of there unscathed. Listen, appreciate you jumping on board. The best of luck against Gonzalez. We'll tune in. That'll be 10 p.m. Eastern. You're the headliner, CBS Sports Network. Appreciate you coming on board, and you got an open invite. Jump on anytime, pal.
Thank you, man.
All right,
follow me on social media, Tramaine_midget.
I'd love to nickname the Mighty Midget. All right, you have. We'll talk to you. All right, be well.
Thank you.